Rolling, rocking and rolling here tonight. Sorry, I'm just trying to set up my camera here. Okay, so here we go. See what we got going on here. I have a piece that I am working on here. Just trying to get my all right, here I go. All right, so I have my trusty pencil ready. Put a nice sharp edge on this. So what I got here is a quick little layout I had done of the DC Comics Trinity. So I had to redraw this face here a little bit on Wonder Woman. And all right, so anyway, come join me while I wait for this fight. And we're gonna get started here. So to me, I don't know, I think one of the hardest heroes to me is draw for whatever reason is Superman and also Wonder Woman. It's always been a little bit of a challenge, you know, because you're trying to get the strength right and also the beauty right on Wonder Woman, and then on Superman, he's so iconic, you know, and he's been, you know, basically immortalized by so many great Superman artists before, you know. Kurt Swan gave him a definitive look that lasted for ages, and then John Byrne gave him a look, and then he had a wonderful look with, I guess, two artists back to back. The first one being George Perez, and then followed up by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, and then she rather was given another level of look, which to me is probably her best look is when Adam Hughes draws her. And so it's always very hard to try to follow up, you know, and try to draw this character, especially knowing that she's been illustrated in such iconic ways by that incredible talent. And so all you can do is hope to, you know, not screw it up too bad. Basically, capture the essence of the character. But that's what we're doing tonight. We're just we're drawing. We're waiting for this fight to start, which is basically what I'm doing here. So trying to draw this character in her hair has to be right. I'm trying to just kind of create the outside shape of it, and then go in and create the locks. So this here, I don't know if you can tell what I've done here. This is the basically the trinity of DC Comics. We have Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So that's what we're doing here. So hopefully I can have this done by the time that the that fight kicks off, because I do want to see it. So always want to make sure that you draw Wonder Woman powerful, but at the same time feminine. So I like how she was illustrated that way by Adam Hughes, and actually even Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. He did a beautiful Wonder Woman. There have been others that have drawn her, but I mean these are, as far as I'm concerned, the artists that I mentioned earlier that drew her, you know, are probably the best at it. So the inspiration for this style of costume that she has here is inspired by the Jim Lee um, uh, costume. And so that is what I'm focusing on here. So you're not seeing the whole figure, obviously, because Superman's head is going to be covering it. But I want to at least get this half in and get it in, properly, so that the foundation is there. So let me try to. So like I said, right? Superman, what an iconic character, right? And I mean, a lot of people, I don't know, they bang on Superman or whatever, but he's certainly still one of my favorite superheroes that was ever created. And he's had some good runs, story wise. Obviously, the 60s and 70s and were really good for Superman. I think that people kind of soured a little bit on Superman after that debacle where he supposedly died. And I think up to that point, right, he was um, he was part of some stories with John Byrne, and he kind of John Byrne changed a lot of the way that people looked at Superman. I always thought that Superman was a pretty cool character. Not so much in that like a cool factor you know like a Batman character, you know, but in the fact that here he is, this person, this hero who basically has the power of a god, and he chooses to control it. He to um, chooses good, chooses right, um, and you know, it's some people would consider that to be weak, But what's funny is that um, if Superman wanted to unleash, there'd literally be no one that could stop him. I mean, listen, I know people say, "Oh, Batman always has a contingency plan," um, you know, and I think we can blame uh, Frank Miller for that because he um, kind of alluded to that a little bit in the Dark Knight comic that he did. But let's be realistic. Superman versus Batman's not even close. Um, so right now, it looks like everybody and their mother is trying to get on Netflix to watch this fight, and um, it's mad buffering right now. It's buffering hard. Hope they can get that worked out by the time the fight kicks off. So with the styling here on the costume, I went with the more traditional Superman outfit. It's the more iconic um, version, the one that I like. Um, I kind of picture Superman to have more of that classic like fitness physique. I guess it's what fitness athletes uh, are now. They're kind of like what big bodybuilders were back in the days when Arnold Schwarzenegger was uh, competing. But I would probably even go back even a little bit more and say that his physique might be more like that bodybuilder Frank Zane. That was a more traditional fitness body, and so that's what I had envisioned for this version of Superman that I'm working on. Um, So the hardest thing to draw on Superman will always be this S every single time. It will always be that S. Which is why I'm delaying drawing it. So hard. Back when John Byrne was doing it, he had created the S, and it was so like it took up such a big part of the costume for Superman. And now it's um it's different. It's smaller now. It's almost like I've seen some of the designs where it's like it's not even the S anymore. It's kind of like a shape, um, which I don't particularly care for, right? Um, so I'm just trying to get the layouts here. Um, to look right here. Like I said, drawing Superman is, to me, it's difficult. He's got a certain look. I always thought that I would like to see Superman. He's the last Kryptonian, and I always had this story idea of him, going to just kind of going across the universe, uh, and uh, and having adventures. You know, um, like I said, he's the last Kryptonian, right? Um, and he's got all these great powers. Um, and he could almost be like, I don't know, like an ambassador or a representative of Earth somehow. Now I don't know how that would play out, you know, or something like that. I thought would kind of be a cool concept. All right, so I got that in there. So now I'm gonna work on Batman on this side, right, and try to then finish up the outline of the Wonder Woman before I do any kind of rendering or anything like that. So when I think of Batman, obviously the first thing I think about is, the bat symbol here, which looks radically different in this new Absolute Batman. Um, as they're trying to retcon Batman, they're trying to retcon um, they're trying to retcon both of these, both Batman and Superman, create alternate uh, versions or something like that that they can maintain copyright on, because they will be losing it uh, here shortly. And so there's this big push on this absolute universe here with the, Wonder Woman's part of that as well. And that's all trying to, I believe, just trying to protect their IP at DC Comics. And that's cool, I guess. Like I guess people are raving about the Superman uh and the Batman one. I haven't had a chance to check out the Wonder Woman um version yet, but I don't know if any of you have and want to chime in. You know, I would definitely be interested in hearing your thoughts. But but yeah, I don't know. You know, well, so I mean, honestly, what do you think would happen to Batman if DC Comics were to lose the copyright, and then anyone um, could do Batman stories? Do you think that would be for the best? Do you think that there would be stories that would be created that were more original? I mean, there have been some iconic um, Superman. I mean, I'm sorry, Batman stories. Would we still get those kind of things, or would having the IP available for anyone maybe bring in new concepts or things that um, certain writers and artists were thinking, hey, what if Superman did such and such? So if I were to say what my best version of Batman was, is so um I like the Neil Adams version of it. That was a good version. Um And a lot of people sleep on Jim Aparo's version of Batman, and that was certainly really good. Um, I would also um, say that you know, Jim Lee had an iconic run on Batman, and which was really, I don't know, just to me some of his best work. And he really is known as the modern day Batman guy. Um, but there have been other artists that have drawn him. Um, I think that, and we're gonna go back to this guy again, is Jose Luis Garcia Lopez did a beautiful version of uh, of this character. I mean, it was really just, well, I mean, what a wonderful draftsman he was and is still. I think he's still alive. Memory serves me right, properly here. And so yeah, he had an amazing uh, run, and then um, I believe Dick Giordano drew as well for a little bit. Um, and that certainly was a fairly solid run. Um, Mark Silvestri had a little run recently on his story that he did. Greg Capullo, obviously, another fantastic Batman artist. So it's hard for me to really choose like who is my favorite. I don't necessarily have a favorite per se. I mean, there's stuff that I like about all of those versions. Um, I wasn't a big fan of Todd McFarlane's version of it, though. It was okay. I'm certainly am a huge fan of David Finch's version of it. I mean, I think he is just built for Batman. I mean, that is ultimately, 100% in his wheelhouse, and he does a super amazing job um, with that. So when he was doing it, that was a big deal. A lot of people really enjoyed that. Um, so I guess what I'm going to try to do here is just get down what I can here, do some of the a little light rendering. Then I'm going to probably come back for part two and do the inking. So let me see if I can get this Wonder Woman up here. All right. So we got to get this cape thing here. So that's already come here. Got to make sure I get the right muscle here because then it'll look weird, right? And we don't want it to look weird. So I guess that's one of the hardest things to do, when you're drawing is to kind of create that mirror from one side to the other. And I can already see that I'm going to need to shorten my layout a little bit because it's a little long. Bring this over here. Yeah, you gotta measure. It's like constructing a building. Measure twice, cut once. Hands. Gotta be able to draw hands. Hands are hard though. I'll be honest. Hands are tricky. See, so just moving this down a little bit adjusted everything in this under drawing that I had. All right, let's try to get this hair down a little bit. Get the star in here, right? Got to put that up in there. So I'm still debating how I'm gonna ink this. If I'm gonna go with brush or with pen, or a combination of the two. Once again, with these hands, I wish I was better at them. You know, I do okay, but I mean, there's people that just draw such elegant hands. I draw just a functional version of it. But you know, like anything, it's like if you want to do it, you gotta practice. All right, so the background is not going to be all much of anything. You know, I was thinking about maybe bringing some smoke up through here or something to that effect. So her legs obviously are hidden by these two capes here. So we're not going to worry about that. All right, and so I guess there you have it, right? So this is my layout that I have for this piece, and I am going to ink it. Just don't know when. Maybe tonight, who knows? Maybe not. But I may do it as a live on Instagram. So if you're not following me there, at the Art of Caesar Feliciano, CesarFeliciano. That's the Art of Caesar Feliciano. Come kick with me over there as I work on this, or I may even do a TikTok live where I ink this piece. But we shall see, right? I know I got all this rendering and stuff that I need to do here. All right. So I'm going to call that a wrap. We'll see you guys on the next one.